and her incredible hair. So, a little bit about it. Density wise, it is quite a bit. I shampooed it about an hour ago. Put the Renewal Remedies through, so I'm really excited with the texture and its combability. I also use priming lotion to prime her hair, but I think I'll be using that throughout the cut. So let's go ahead and get started. You ready, Jazz?
Mm-hmm.
Yee! Jazz and we're like neighborhood friends, so I've seen her and her progression with her color for quite a while now, like a year plus
Yeah.
ish. But I've been wanting to cut her hair, but I didn't think it was gonna be like cut it off, so I'm super excited. But yeah, like I said a little bit ago, it is her first time, and it is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna start with like a large bang section. So just kind of from the center just to get balance of the section. And then from like the deep into the crown, I'm gonna work to the high recessions. Again, there's priming lotion in here, guys. So the priming is really helping me. And the dampness is kind of perfect so that it's not soaking wet. And I will have, it being soaking wet, but also damp enough that I'm not going to have to like overly saturate the hair as I work. So I figure this is the opportunity to have a larger bang section. Jazz, do you mind just bringing your head forward for me? They are for sure not going to always have this bang section be their bang section, but because we're kind of doing a bowl cut that's off of the bangs, it is going to be on the larger, wider side, kind of an extreme section. Always think about the rounds of the heads, working to the high recessions, those kind of parameters to help find your placement of where your partings are going to be. So first one, horizontal sections working through. So I'll basically be like boop, boop, boop. Jazz does her own color. So they really did kind of go through a little bit of a journey with this last one. And I'm sad because it's gonna get cut off. But we're thinking, sorry, I'm thinking like for the curls to like shrink and like be worn kind of in their face. And there might be a little bit, maybe not in these first couple sections, but there might be a little bit as like we travel into the interior shape. So there might be a little dipped ends still there. So I said I used priming lotion already, but then I'm using foundation mist to resaturate both primers and both helping me even the porosity. You ready?
Yep. Let's go.
Let's go. There's a couple little guys in here, which are always nice to see those starter kits. I'm like, they help me visualize the shape and also like, visualize the shape. Picture what it's going to look like is super helpful for, I don't know, confidence. I guess that wasn't that funny. Sorry. All right, so I'm gonna work from the center out, dropping it down off elevation off the head shape. Gonna go in there with a shorter piece for the weight removal, and then tip to the right and heel to the left. So my elevation's maintaining, and then trying to focus on the edge of the blade. Oh yeah, there's still a bit of purple. Trying to maintain my elevation, and that elevation is going to give you that little bit of softness and also a little bit of bluntness at the same time. So weight removal first, and then the line, and staying on that edge. And I'm already pumped. Yay. Oh, Josh, I could totally picture it. All the things that we were talking about, I'm super stoked.
Me too.
Even though you can't see, you get like a little sense, right?
I feel it.
Okay. It's always such a thing, like especially for demonstration purposes. You're like, it's gonna be great, I promise. All right, the width of my section is just based on the density of the hair. We have a lot of density, but kind of like the job that I'm doing, it's definitely not punk rock all the way, but it is a little bit less structured than taking micro sections, so there is that little bit of exaggeration, so slightly larger sections because of how kind of aggressive I'm cutting, and targeting the priming tool of the foundation mist kind of where I want it. So I'm not like constantly getting everything soaking wet everywhere. It's really just like where I'm about to cut. Ready? So I can use the underneath section to kind of see and feel drop out and cut slightly longer, which even more excited to get more perps on there. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, that's good. So that little bit of staying width and that subtle over direction is going to help me start. Maybe that's a little bit long, maybe not. Oh yeah, when I see it without the hair distracting it on the side, I'm like really excited about that. It's good. It's getting good already. I joke and say starter kits a lot, but and it's not the most technical thing, but like when you see those little starter kits to the shape, it's so, well, I already said it, confidence building for the person getting their haircut and also the person cutting it. Heel to the left. It's kind of fun sometimes to let the color help, like kind of dictate the lengths that you choose. I don't know why I said that, but it is nice. Like, oh, yay, we're keeping it. All right, so I'm just moving back through that large section. This might be a bit too much, so I'm just dividing that and be left with the last little tip. And weight removal. Ooh, Deanna, you're getting in there with the filming. So the razor is just so beautiful to be able to have like those varied lengths in the interior as well as the line. So I'm thinking about my tension and not having it too taut that it's like overly taut that it's kind of going to retract, and not having it loose so that there's not enough strength as I move through to like maintain my edges sharpness. So don't want to like fray the hair, and really staying on the edge is what's key to not have it feel um, too soft. Soft on top of soft. So just to see without the width. Ooh, I'm so excited. All right, so just to check out where we're coming from, last one in the crown, gonna over direct. And then similar to a lot of our shapes that we do in our classes, and probably most similar to our modern shag in the kind of bang department, but like each section is gonna get slightly longer, but also kind of have like that weight removal to help mesh and veil over so that there is like a shape, but it also is a soft shape. Forgiving to styling and how it's going to evolve, and pretty, natural, effortless, all the things that adjectives that are used to describe like just letting it be. I'm just going to come across all the way with the tip on that last one rather than inside out. Yes. All right. So we're kind of done with that panel, other than maybe checking it out later and like tweaking it. This is the curl control, the one I'm talking about for you. So curl control, adding that in, silkening cream, looking for a little bit more shape, but also very, very soft. I always describe this one to our clients as like leave-in conditioner with a tiny bit of hold or shaping. So really kind of heavy pushing the application of the product into the hair so I can get all those ends. We have a nice layer of priming lotion all the way through, and then that little tiny bit of foundation mist, so we don't even have to talk about that. And I don't want the curls to be too sculpted yet because I just want it to like be like a soft tamed product, not like super twisted out yet. Just gonna find my section, so let's get those out of the way. So my next section is going to be a circular section going around the entire hairline. Recession all the way to the other recession, working in a circular perimeter edge. Ooh, a little purple chignon. Is that too tight, Jeff? Okay. All right, so a little water now. A little updo happening. Water to reactivate the primers. I always still do this with the water bottle. It's so dumb because it's the continuous thing, but I just can't help doing that still. It's like shaking your blow dryer. I still do that. A bit more priming lotion. I don't think that Jazz needs this amount of product all the time, but just with cutting and how we're cutting, the length that I'm cutting, as well as the tool that I'm using, it really is just to protect the hair as well as like let the hair be happy as it gets cut so it doesn't have like a freak. Okay. So let's go for it. I'm excited just to see this length. So I'm gonna grab a little guy on the side. I just kind of did a subsection just for that front, very front hairline, like what would be like the face frame. And I just got a little bit too much. So I want this to be quite a bit shorter, but then it's going to quickly get longer on top. So I'm remembering what I did in the bangs, but I'm really more thinking about like that interior weight removal kind of length to be my length over here. This is internal weight and the line at the same time. Oh my gosh, so excited. So I can get those little shorter pieces that will almost like elevate the length when it lays over it in bowl cutty fashion, right? So that was just a little subsection to my first edge. So if you see and feel the air, what I just cut underneath, quite deep with the weight removal. Sorry, Diana. So that really is removed of a lot more weight than I did in the first sections at the bang. Letting the guy drop out, using the edge and just coming down. Oh, oh no, you're good. I just love them more than taking them off, the earrings.
Okay.
So this side is just a little bit less dense, but same jam, just kind of do the subsection at the front hairline, like what would be the face framing, like kind of high recession, low recession, and what sits in front of the ear. So quite deep with my weight removal, and then I'm using the edge of the blade down. That second one just above, still deep with my weight removal, and then a little bit longer so that underneath is like the interior. Oh my God, I almost threw that on your foot. Yay, let's look at how that looks with this. All right, so that obviously is heavy over here, but it's like not gonna live forward, right? So I'm just keeping it because I picture it more over here as the shape evolves. It's kind of like the top of my beret. Can you see just a little bit? Like,
I don't want to.
okay, we're waiting till the end. All right, so I'm going to the back. I don't, it would be really cool to continue the circle and just keep going around, but I just feel crazy doing that. So I just prefer to like go into the center and then work my way. But the whole idea with it being circular that you're kind of able to be like, oh, let's start here. It doesn't have to be start in the back and then make everything connect. It already is connecting. Sorry if I sprayed your neck.
Oh, you're totally fine.
All right, so kind of like that first section that is in the front face framing, I want that one to be tight. I don't want it to be like long straight away. So we're going pretty short back here, and then with the idea that each section is going to get slightly longer. Interior weight removal, and then a little bit more of the flat, and a bit more sculpty, right? Some kind of just to really set that hair in. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Just have that one little straggler. So although we're going bowl, I want it to be like not like a sculptural, well, it is sculptural, but not like a very graphic bowl. I want it to look lived in, grown out, kind of soft, right? So there's going to be still something kind of peeping around from behind the ear with a bit of length because we want it to be like forgiving to the curls and the nature of the curls, letting them kind of be still a curl and not all the way off.
Somebody said, as a barber, I usually never use a razor on curly hair. Tell me your opinion and reasoning on that.
I was really waiting for someone to ask a question about curly hair and razoring, especially coming from like a barber. We had a question about, like what's my opinion with razors and like curls, just connecting that to that little shorty underneath. This is, again, part of the bang. It is just about how you use the tool. So first prepping the hair, having the product in to protect the hair. So I have that slip. The guard is, or sorry, the blade is a new blade and it's not, it's a straight edge. So it does have that ability to kind of like get in there with the edge, but it's definitely opinion and everybody's so different and like how you use your tool. But some people you're just trained that that's not right or that's the wrong way. So that's fine to think that, everybody's just so different. I believe you can kind of use whatever tool you want on whatever hair if the situation's right. And in this case, I'm feeling like it's right. I'm not afraid of it, I guess. I don't want to sound like that. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I hate sounding like I can do it, but I was taught that you can judge each person individually and each curl individually. And just if you're looking for softness, the razor is a beautiful tool. So I'm definitely like, oh, dang, that's hella long. But we have so much hair to go. Like, I feel like this little feature of keeping that length is going to be super cute for later. But I can always like bing, 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 detail and make it a bit shorter. All right, so now we're following through with those circular sections. So this will be my first one after the perimeter, which in Orbay land we call the wreath. There's multiple wreaths depending on the density of the hair. And you basically work in these circular sections until you reach the crown. Orbay, the man, taught us how to look at things 360 and to have structure, but to also cut visually. So there's a bit of this in every cut. Oh my God, it's been a minute since I've done a demo. Sorry, I'm really hammy, super hammy right now. Ooh, sorry, is that too tight?
No, it's good.
All right, so again, a bit of water just on what I brought down. It already has priming lotion in there, so I'm reactivating the priming lotion. I'll probably switch to a little bit. Well, let's just keep putting priming lotion. That'll be good. Not too much, but just to have that a bit more in there. Protection, yes, but also so that I can see the curl. Using product as you cut also helps you kind of display the hair's texture so that you're happy. If you're making things textural, you kind of need to see if you're doing a good job. The product helps define it. Yeah, I'm so stoked on how much purple there is. It's so good.
There's like a
That's
magic
good.
trick.
It totally is. I'm stoked you recolored it.
I'm excited for it to be lavender again.
Yeah, totally. All right. So again, with my sections and how I break the sections down, it really is like kind of dependent on what we're doing. So they are so petite underneath here that it really is easy to kind of get a little bit larger with my section. Again, I know that there's going to be mad hair that's going to drape over this. So I want it to be short enough that it does set the shape in, but not so long that it is going to be too long to when I get to here. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm getting in there quite a bit deeper, way deeper than my bang, right? The rule of thumb usually is to let the hair have a bend. So in Jazz's curl type, that bend is, I'm looking for like one, two curls, but like in the back, in this under, I can kind of go for it a little bit more. Definitely more than I did in the bangs. Oh my God, say that one more time. Heel to the right, sorry, heel to the left, tip to the right. Not getting tricked by that length. I want to more connect it to the framing piece. So weight removal, weight removal, weight removal. I'm going to come down using that edge. Going back to the question earlier with like what's right with the razor, maintaining the edge is going to be helpful for those ends. Whereas in the underbelly, I use more of the flat, which is kind of fun to deduce, but being careful to not do too much of that. Not that you have to know all of your people that you're cutting, but knowing Jazz and seeing Jazz's hair evolve, watching it get bleached, watching the reaction of the bleach, like it gives you kind of have a little bit of history, even just with your eyes. I've actually not touched their hair before, but or maybe I did on the street once, but
On the
still,
straight one.
it was, kind of like I knew it already, so I've been like thinking about this shape, thinking about them doing it for me and getting so pumped. So I'm a little giddy right now, but also, back to those things that how do you know? Like you just kind of feel good about it and have the confidence to do it. Just feeling and checking the balance. I know that that is way long, but again, thinking about my roadmap, I've got like one, two, possibly three more sections before I reach that crown. Really happy with how that is defining her head shape a little bit, like sinking in. Should we say where we are and stuff? Right.
Sure.
Right now we're in my little salon. It's called Little Axe, and we're in Brooklyn. It is Eastern Standard Time. So, I mean, it's like approaching nighttime, but not summertime light outside. Somebody asked me one time with doing these like virtual things. I've been very fortunate to have a salon to be able to do this as we've had these, different things in our world. And at the very end, they're like, "Yeah, where are you?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know why that was a big deal. I lost. Oh, here it is. Lost in the coils. Too tight? All right. So it is really getting close to the crown, which I'm super happy because I was like, I don't know if it's going to be an hour, folks. But that's, what's deceiving about curls too, right? Like you just don't know until you get in there how dense it's going to be. And it's cool when you're working on a petite head shape because it's dense in the right places. Like it's very little and like nice underneath here, and there's a lot on top. So I'm um, I'm happy where we're at this stage. So same thing. I'm just going into the sides. I'm sorry, I'm going into the back and leaving the sides after. It was just fun to do those sides first when in the first round because I wanted to find a bit more connection to the front. So graduation, still following off the head shape, going deep with my weight removal, but not quite as those underneath ones. Oh yeah, right on top. And then just for balance, I'm gonna go tip to the right, heel to the left. I can see and feel my guy drop out. So oops, starting to gain a bit more length. Oh, you know what? That's a bit too much length. One sec. Just going a tiny bit shorter. When I pulled that out to show the graduation, the relationship was too distant. There we go. You want to sorry, I'm getting tricked by these hairs. You want to be able to see that guy fall out and that guy just quickly get slightly longer. So it's not like big drapey spider hanging over the top. There's like a good balance, but it's also not getting shorter and kind of mumsy. I still want it to be a little bit punk rock. I just use that term because that's like something that I was taught when I was younger that meant like cool without being like, oh, rock and roll, like just a little bit not the norm and youthful. And we're able to make that situation work here. And I don't want to go in the other direction and make it too nice. Did I bring that back? Sometimes you say stuff and you're like, that's not what I meant to say. All right, following off the head shape, dropping it down a little bit, but not so much because I don't want to be like super blunt, literal bowl. I want to have that airiness. Taking out weight, being a little bit more further away from the head with my weight removal. Stoked. You finding your inner director?
Mm-hmm.
Deanna from the office is doing all the filming. Thank you very much. It's like an orbit. Oh yeah. So see how those little guys, and then with the product in there as it's drying, it's giving me a little bit better of a display of what it actually is going to look like. Still a bit not of a relationship over here, but we'll play with that. But crazy how that side is like, oh yeah, I'm working. Oh my God. All right, let's see. So the last time when I pulled this section down, I feel like it was kind of different. There's definitely been some breakage with the color. So this surface tier is pretty skinny. Yeah, but I still need to divide it in two. Sorry, I was thinking that maybe I can do it in one, and I'm like, that's a bit too much. Maybe I was hoping maybe we can get some of the purple, like to like have a little bit of a halo Saturn ring, but I don't think it's gonna reach. But way more than I initially thought, so woo. Actually, I'm gonna put some priming lotion in there. Sorry, guys. Just looking at it when I did that last little comb, I'm like, that's not priming lotion. When I did that last little comb, I'm like, let's just get some more moisture in there. So same kind of amount as I've been going. Again, they wouldn't be using this amount all the time. It's just really for me and like to help see the shape as it evolves. I love the little bits with the hoops. So good. I was a little nervous when Jazz asked me if they wanted to take them out, because almost inevitably, if they ask you, should I take them out, then like you're gonna comb them. I guess I shouldn't say that yet. That always happens in the salon. They're like, no, they're fine. I love them. And like, oh, sorry. Still kind of like the rounds of the head helping me divide the subsections within my section. As far as like, where am I grabbing the hair? Almost like a little Simon Says. Do, do, do. That the game one, not the verbal. A little bit more elevation. Let that bottom drop out so I can see and feel it. So nice to see the hair retract with the weight removal. Oh my God. I really love graduation, so sorry, I'm getting so happy. Some of them I came down, some of them I came down, and some of them coming out. I feel like it's just kind of cool to switch it up. Don't want to get rid of that yet. Taut tension, not too taut. Just running my hands through it so I can like kind of see and feel the balance. Oh my God. All right, so I'm at my last one. It's not really a pretty section up there, but it looks okay under there. All right. Ooh, excuse me. All right, I'm gonna take out some weight and then like see, because this is where we're getting into a little bit of like softer hair from just being like some kind of like breakage and stuff with, just the wear and tear of having bleached hair and curls on top of it. So I'm going to switch to the scissors and still continue that same kind of interior weight removal and working to the outside exterior. And I'm going to elevate quite a bit higher just so I don't make things too flat. I'm going to kind of chase my same weight removal and boop. That's just way too long, but I'm excited to see some of those little guys. And then we also have this other length. So I'm like, ooh, what can stay? What's going to go? It's too much, but I just want to see. Being a little bit more free form now. So like kind of, I'm opening and closing the scissors rather than dragging them. I don't think there's anything wrong with slide cutting, but these are just norm scissors. I don't have slide cutting scissors. But I kind of, again, back to your training, right? Like nothing is wrong with different things, but because I always use the razor, slide cutting kind of didn't become a part of my repertoire. But I always think other things are cool, so it's not a no, never. It's just not me. Let's put some more curl control in now. So that was the one I put in bangs. Excuse me. When I finished the bang section, I added a little bit of the curl control, so the silkening cream, and just looking for a bit more like shape. Again, and we always put more product in people's hair than what they put in themselves, but it's the process. I'm actually so glad I had a mask on for that corny face because it's probably not going to be cute on like some things. Like, oh my god, I like the mask for certain things. I had it off the other day and I did the biggest yawn and just thinking I had the mask on. I'm like, oh my god, I don't have a mask on. Like, what a dork. All right. So da 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 da. Pee Wee Herman. Sorry. I'm stoked on those little curls and the overhang, but now I need to like get this to have a little bit more definition to it so that I could choose what goes with those last couple sections from our first bang. Oh my gosh, it's so cute, Jazz. I'm sorry. I keep getting so excited. Again, knowing that that's probably not like every time I've met Jazz, she has a center part and the hair is kind of like draped down and they comb through or a Denman through and really just like rake through the curls and then let it just go. So this placement is kind of odd for them, but fun to see it like that. But I also want to think about that it's probably going to live on the sides a little bit too. Okay, so again, back to what I was saying earlier, I need a little bit more definition on like this variable piece. And where it lives is kind of behind the bang, on the sides, and in the crown. Oh, yay, the time isn't so bad. Okay. I was scared to. What was that?
Somebody has a question. So,
Oh, yeah.
is using a razor on bleached, damaged hair not ideal? Does it make the damage worse?
Using the razor on bleach damaged hair is sometimes not ideal if it's like a situation where the person is, the person is going to be styling it in a way that is just going to accentuate what they don't like. So it's just really a combination of the same thing going back to the curl question, like using the razor on curly hair. Like it's just what you can handle and also what the person can handle. So like style wise, and I think Jazz is definitely on the cooler side. And I'm looking for softness. I don't want to overly soften the hair. So in those last couple sections in the back, I switched to scissors. Almost like sometimes I think of like a charcoal drawing when you go in and like kind of use the eraser to kind of make harder edges. Just switching the tool up gives it a little bit of definition, but I would totally use the razor on this too, like I have been. So back to the actual answer, it is your call, your judgment, style of the person, and your kind of delicacy of how that's not a word, but how delicate you are on the hair to not be aggressive and make like curls, right? So like on bleached hair, on curly hair, on the end of the spectrum hair that already is soft, the razor makes hair soft. So you need to be very accurate how you use the edge of the blade to not overly soften if that's what you don't want. Does that answer your question out there in TV land? So using the scissors like a razor, inside out, getting a bit more bluntness, and visually determining my lengths and how this little extra overhang from round one gets cut into the rest. Oh my god. You don't even know what I just did. I'm like such a dork. So kind of playing with those like the edges of what was over directed in the bang. And I like a little bit of weirdness. And so do they. So I don't want to just like make that nice. Like let's leave a little overhang. They can handle it. I mean, you already see. But like we also like I know their style, right? I'm like, come on, come on, come on. And can I tell you guys a little secret? Jazz also told me that they really want to shave their head and haven't ever and want to. So it's kind of like green light, you know? Although I'm really excited and I hope that they keep the shape for a while. And, I know that they're going to do killer things with it, like slicking it back, parting it all the way over to the other side, or just wearing it super floppy moppy all out, And even stoked on maybe having like a little bit of like a shag thing, like where we like cut the sides, maybe even shorter later, and expose the hairline length as it grows. That's what I picture next. And do like the other version because they had a couple of little references that they were interested in. Oddly, that's also why I got the green light because it was already in their mind, which was really helpful too. But like, kind of knowing that you want to go even shorter later is it's a little bit of a whew, cool.
Somebody said, is it hard to cut curly hair when it is chemically bleached?
No. I just think it's a different piece of fabric when it's bleached, and we just have to be careful. But their integrity is all there. Like it's not breaking like that. I don't feel like there's been any breakage or any like compromise border of where the bleached hair is. Maybe just like in the initial bleaching a while ago, there was, yeah, like, but with all of this like conditioning soft purpley stuff that they've been doing, like, no breakage. But just to answer the question, like, no, just be careful. You know? Okay, so I told Jazz that I'm gonna like keep going up because it's just fun, but I want to just make sure that it can be back to. And oh my God, just sidebar, I'm really excited that there's those little like flecks of purple that veil around Saturn again. All right, just want to do like a good, let me see. So there's like little pieces, but like that's a little bit weird, but like it still follows the graduation. So I also have to almost like be like, it's okay, because if you over, then you take away those cool little randos, and I don't want to. But let's make a couple little randoms in here, just because we're talking about that. So in our curl class, we talk about weight removal, and in the essentials cut, we do notching as well as the weight removal that I've been doing. But the notching is a little bit more, it's a lot less tapered than what I was doing before. So now I'm just kind of, I always think of Ronnie, our creative director, with just making positive, negative space. And oh my God, I can't wait for you to see it. Really stoked over these little like Winona Ryder-y pieces on the sides, like picturing picturing like that kind of slickness.
Okay.
Yay! Okay, so let's put some more stuff in. Sorry.
Oh, you're okay.
I'm stoked on how this is collapsed underneath, right? And like that extension of the bang is where the overhang is rather than it being like way graduated on the sides too to like continue that volume. It's like a little bit undercut, but again, the razor is so cool to be able to like achieve undercutness without it being like, whoa, all the way punk rock. All right, so more curl control. This is when I'm really bad at like, let's put this in and let's put this in, and then I put 500 products in. So I'm gonna say controlled. Ken, if you're out there, I'm only gonna put one more thing in. So the curl control is red because it's super soft and not, so gel-like that I'm getting like way sculptural, just like big sections just to get a bit of guidance through, not trying to like full on twist out. I was talking to Jazz that I wanted to have it be like bigger with a little bit of definition, not all the time, more just to like stay within the time frame and have it like look cute at the end rather than like get into doing a twist out. I feel like as long as there's like some defined that like the fuzz of the other hairs is fine. I always think of like finger waves and the more like in the 30s when things started getting more less slicked and a little bit like fuzzier, like it's like a perfect finger wave in the front area, and then like the rest of it's a little bit like and it looks good because there's intention in the important area. It doesn't need to be like red carpet 360 like the finger waves that we do now where every single hair's in place. What is my other dreamy product going to be? I could go so many directions. I was really going to use Mystify because I thought Mystify would be a cool product, and also the Restore and Repair family having a little bit of strength to it, but I don't think I want to do that. But the restyling spray that I was thinking I was going to use, which is cool to just like reshape those curls and have like a little bit of stick to it, also being like strengthening and having the high thermal protection, I think is going to be really cool for Jazz like in home life. But now I just want to put a little flash form in and then leave it. So it's still just three, kind of. If you don't count foundation mist, it could be priming, curl control, and flash form. So that wasn't that bad. We'll just don't count foundation mist. So the flash form spray wax, it's rad because it's an aerosol spray wax. So I think it's cool for definition, and definitely with being in New York and in the humid days, it's really great to like use as a humectant just to seal those flyaways and kind of like chase the little hairs in and also like jack the hair up a little bit. Like I love a blowout, especially with our new tray set being so blowy outy. I'm like, let's use the tray set, but doesn't all the way match summer outfits sometimes, like, you know, like when it's like 9 o'clock on a Saturday. So I've been using the flash form with it just a little bit to like undo the perfection of the blowout, get definition. You can sculpt curls a little bit and also add that humectant. I think what makes Orbe's spray wax unique is that there's a little bit of like dryness to it, not to like make her hair literally dry, but to have like that little uh, chalkiness almost. Not chalky.
Like grit?
Grit. Thanks. My words are over. Oh my gosh, yay. So with that in there, I can like and get some height and also define a couple more with that, a little bit more oomph or power to sculpt than just curl control. I'm loving that one. Stoked at the length of the unders, although you're probably so hot. Our AC is crazy loud, so it's off. How are we? Oh my God, I can't believe it did it in time. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So as far as like, you know, what next? Like I feel like a lot of times with the questions that were already stemming, a lot of times where people are then I feel like the gravitation towards what is people are thinking next is like, how do you cut this again? It's soft. Everything is like so irregular in the sense of how it was cut in the first place that to recreate it, it would be just a different thing, right? So you could go about the same sections, you can go about the same bang trim, maybe not have to do like as intense of weight removal because it's almost like a color, like a highlight. You're almost like retouching the weight removal and sometimes shifting the balance or sometimes going right back where you were just to like exaggerate that space that you made with the curls. Um, I think it'd be cool because of just knowing the little bit of like, I kind of want this and I kind of want that. It'd be cool to go tighter around here, but then I also think it'd be cool to like let this evolve and like have this length peep around from the side, like a little bit, yeah, a little mullet or a little Wolfie, if I can throw the new one out there. Wolfie has like 5,000 different references, which I also love, but still, it's like, you know, all the different things I think are going to be cool. And yeah, let the shape evolve and do more things. Does that sound good? Are there any questions?
That was it.
Oh my God. Well, let's see. I'm gonna take the cape off, and then Jazz, I asked if it was okay to just take her mask down for a second just so we can see all of Jazz.